Hot take, but I think this is gonna be like the most interesting matchup tonight. We're gonna see like so many unconventional plays from both of these players, and of course I've seen plenty of them in ranks, so I'm very excited to see how this is gonna turn out.
Yeah,
Look at these setups
loving to see how we're beginning so far, as both of them seem to prefer the openers to begin here instead of a 6-3 base, but they are not letting anything go, and QuickAndSmart being the first to zone with a great board to do so.
Definitely, I am curious to see how Quick is gonna manage an opponent which is going to pretty much match their efficiency. We've seen Coldless do it thus far with the kinds of setups that they're creating, the kind of spins that they're finding, but Quick does seem to have adapted to TEC's mechanics a little bit better, so that dynamic is going to be pretty interesting. Coldless is going to be exiting their zone second, and they're going to be canceling for 51.
And with phase 2 having kicked fully in action, we're getting to see a little bit of that messy garbage immediately on Coldless' side, but we've already seen many S&Z spins from Coldless working through all of this, but QuickAndSmart is continually putting up the pressure and already is into his next zone.
Definitely, and we're gonna see Quick doing some more counting, trying not to break their back-to-back. Of course, that efficiency from these Tetrio mains is going to be unmatched pretty much. Quick actually has a chance for a nice high clear here, but that looks like impossible IHS, and they're gonna be hard capped at 51 versus Coldless looking for that ulti. They are gonna spawn the T, and that's gonna be 58 over to Quick.
Yeah, impressive stuff to sit at the top of the board and in some cases not actually be able to work with things, but having the foresight that this is something that in theory would maybe be possible is incredible stuff, as QuickAndSmart now having a bit of a cheesy board from all of this garbage, but not gonna let it get to him too bad, and Coldless is just stacking very cleanly with the 6-3 and now transitioning to follow the garbage.
It is also very interesting to see like how some of these players decide to go about their downstack. Like I just noticed that Coldless went for a multiplier-esque kind of spike with the downstack into Tetris, and Quick is gonna send 33 over to Coldless, which even though isn't gonna kill them, it's gonna make them zone in an unfortunate spot, which might actually hinder their damage enough to allow Quick to survive despite being in such severe disadvantage. But oh no, they could not get that piece placement down in time, and they're gonna top out, giving Coldless the first round, playing at almost 1 APP, 103 drops and 102 attack.
Yeah, very impressive stuff to be playing so very efficiently, but misdrop to start it off on Coldless' side, or maybe some kind of setup or misdrop is allowing QuickAndSmart to take a 6-3 start to really get some momentum rolling.
Yeah, that was a very interesting moment from Coldless. They tried to go for the 6-3 but misdrop, but of course you already know that their vision is going to allow them to get some very creative solutions, and we're going to see Coldless get the zone first, Quick not too far behind, and both of them are going to activate it at the same time. It was an actual efficiency war that we're seeing at the moment.
Yeah, and some of the time it just comes down to who is better at efficiently using all of these lines. Is, by the looks of it, like despite like speed differences that they might offer, they're still staying really close together and not letting anything get to them.
Yeah, Quick has a score lead for a little bit, but Coldless is going to catch him immediately as I'm saying that sentence, both at equal zone charge as well. So yeah, we have an even match ahead of us, and it's really just going to be down to who has better sustain or who has better timing, depending on how these playstyles mesh together.
Yeah, as Coldless starts his next zone and QuickAndSmart not too far behind, we'll see how they can counteract, but Coldless has a very clean board overall, and QuickAndSmart also with a beautiful board, but QuickAndSmart gets the ulti but does not have enough to fully cancel the attack that Coldless had sent.
Very well said, and oh my gosh, that setup from Quick to recognize that they had the TSD there rather than panic down stacking against Coldless's sustain, especially after Coldless did the misdrop. I wonder if they screenwatched and recognized that before taking that spin.
Yeah, fun side effect of this game that we don't see in some other games is that where we see these players on the screen right now is where they are seeing themselves. QuickAndSmart is playing on the left-hand side and Coldless on the right-hand side. In like Tetrio and PBT and others, they are playing always on the left side. So it's coming down to a situation where Coldless now has to play with a slightly different perspective from what can be considered standard, and yet is just taking it in full stride with continuous, efficient plays.
Very well said, and the fact that Coldless built that TST, recognized that they didn't have the sequence in order to do so in the zone, able to bail out and still keep an efficient solve is truly something, and QuickAndSmart is going to be on the back foot here. That is their zone. They had enough overcharge to get another quarter. They do see the light of day on their attacks, but they have it covered well. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to use all the material that's necessary in order to survive, and Coldless is going to take a second point.
Impressive stuff as we go into our next match, but yeah, again, Coldless having a near 1 APP again is nothing to scoff at with the kind of speed and efficiency that he's offering, but QuickAndSmart has been handling it fantastically as both of these players are starting with 6-3.
Yeah, but Coldless is going to be taking a few more T-spins. They unfortunately are going to get the well transition, so they're going to have to break sooner. And QuickAndSmart, on the other hand, is going to have to go through some misdrops and fight Coldless efficiency in order to access their well. Of course, they aren't really too scared of that, but as a spectator, it's still a little spooky to see any player in disadvantage for any amount of time.
Yeah, being one thing about commentating this is that, like, we know we are worse than these players. We are saying what we can see versus what we can do, and being able to see that, hey, QuickAndSmart figured out that I-spin necessary to get that ultimate tris and keep everything equal is very impressive. And how would we know what to do when these players are just doing it constantly?
Yeah, what a nice example as you were saying that, because I was astonished the fact that they were able to IRS that I-piece when the I-flat would have worked and actually spin it back in. I would have never recognized that in a million years, but unfortunately that's not going to give them the point as Coldless was able to find that kill shot.
Yeah, some impressive stuff as Coldless starts out with T-spins into the PC, giving QuickAndSmart really nice garbage here as a 6-3 stack is developed. But
yep, they found the column 7.
It's still very early on phase 3, and so Coldless has the well now, and with a little bit of well swapping on QuickAndSmart's side, and they couldn't quite get enough eyepieces to downstack.
And Coldless once again playing at almost 1 APP. Going to be taking another round. We are going to see the 6-3 from both players once again. I was expecting some less conventional starts, but we have been seeing a decent amount of 6-3 starts, but Coldless has been pivoting more, very confident in their ability to send some freestyle efficiency. See, just look at that O-tuck that they recognized in that moment.
Yeah, and deciding on a whim, by the looks of it, that instead of going for 6-3 and doing a 5-4 or 4-5 in that case, just right at the beginning there, really allowed Coldless to have some more fun with it and is keeping up the efficient plays. And now we'll get to see that QuickAndSmart with that 47 Perfectress is now maybe a little bit shy for what Coldless can do, but a couple misdrops here and there might give QuickAndSmart the lead here.
Oh my gosh, Quick just barely recognizing in time that they did not have the sequence that they were hoping for and able to avoid that kill shot that Coldless just threatened right there. And In the previous zone, they had 3 eyepieces in the queue, and unfortunately they weren't able to do anything with any of them, and that was pretty sad to watch. But they are gonna bounce back pretty quickly. Sadly, this zone isn't going to transition, so Coldless might have a nice time in order to steal advantage.
Yeah, but it is really close here. That just like that, instantly QuickAndSmart leaves and gets into transition. But I do believe, or I cannot quite tell, and too far away for this, but I think that is still a phase 2 zone by Coldless, and he takes full advantage of that, getting 41 attack out of the 19 lines.
I believe so as well, but that hesitation is gonna give Quick Sustain a lot more time to shine. We're gonna see them try and compound that advantage going into that 5-4 stack, but Coldless is keeping that efficiency as well, building the copy, but has a limited amount of T-pieces, and is gonna be forced to break out of that. Gonna be able to find another forecasted T-spin, while Quick is doing some misdrops, which might actually give Coldless the window they need in order to escape and maybe steal advantage.
And we can't just gloss over the ridiculous spins that these players are just showing off for us, as QuickAndSmart had a bit of a misdrop by the looks of it, and then just spun a J in to clean it up like there was no tomorrow. And just like that, QuickAndSmart at the top of their board with 40 lines in a very clean zone. But now I think that just gave QuickAndSmart a bit of a lead here, as Coldless could not quite get through all of that garbage.
Yeah, Quick I was a little scared of, because they didn't get those final 2 lines in zone to really push them to the 19 threshold, but it really didn't matter because they just had such a nice opportune time in order to find the kill shot, and now they are on the board. So they have prevented the sweep, and they're looking to convert that into momentum.
Yeah, it can always be tough when you're looking at the scoreboard and being down on the board, but QuickAndSmart is playing really well regardless, and Coldless is also keeping up the pressure, so with max zones on both sides, it's anyone's game as we're early on in phase 1 here.
Definitely, and oh my gosh, these donations from Coldless, building another float afterwards, not breaking back-to-back for any means. Actually, they're gonna end up breaking it now, just because they see something better in the future, trying to get a higher zone clear, but they're not gonna spawn everything they want. That's still 53 and 17. Quick is not too far behind in pacing. They see that zone chunk, but it's clipped off the top of their board, so it's not gonna be as nice as they wanted.
Yeah, QuickAndSmart having all of this attack in the zone able to counteract. Not quite able to get the 20 as the pieces didn't quite work out, but getting pretty close. But a lot of that attack that Coldless just never stopped sending allowed him to take another round off of QuickAndSmart.
Yeah, that post pressure is insane. QuickAndSmart tried to go to the stacking fundamentals and tells them, hey, I gotta put the Z piece here or else the future is cooked. But sadly, their next piece just wasn't able to spawn because of it. And Coldless ends up taking the round. And Coldless is gonna find a PC here, but that's just gonna give Quick so much clean to work with. Oh
yeah, and looking at QuickAndSmart's start there with having a 6-3 start that started with a T piece made it a little bit awkward on the 3-column side for a little while, but QuickAndSmart did not let that bother him whatsoever, as he's now very clean in this, but now he has to also think about this 19 line zone that Coldless just completed. But QuickAndSmart with the advantage, sending Coldless a large chunk.
And Coldless does get the quarter, but they don't have the space nor the well access in order to actually do anything, and Quick is going to get a second point. And I know it's pretty late to say this, but I need to point out the setups that Coldless is doing. They had a floating into forecasted Imperial Cross. I think that is the first time I've seen that in my life.
Sometimes modern Tetris has terms that just sound like gibberish if you're not in the loop.
That is a pretty fair. We are going to look at QuickAndSmart with that column 7 garbage peeking out. Unfortunately for them, it does transition immediately. Coldless is trapped in the 9-0, but Coldless is good enough donation knowledge, going to find that Kaidon to keep efficiency while remaining in the 9-0.
And Coldless with a large combo here, not using the zone during any of that means it's now all built up here to counteract the 19 that QuickAndSmart has just sent. But now it comes down to how can he most efficiently use the lines that he has.
Definitely well said. We're going to see Coldless approaching the top of their zone. They have PC parity, but not actually an opportunity to find PC. They did have an ulti, but I think that might have just been impossible IHS, so it makes sense that they didn't even consider it. And we have Quick currently in the advantage in terms of zone charge, score, and board state.
I do believe that could have been an ulti, but getting the IRS needed as well as the knowledge on how the spins work at the top of the board can be a little challenging to get right. And like even some of the obscure spins are challenging regardless of position, and I think that QuickAndSmart having a little bit of trouble with that means that his zone here is not quite able to get everything out of it, which may just give Coldless the advantage here.
Speaking of obscure spins, we did see that Quick was able to find an interesting ice spin ulti solve before, but recognizing that they weren't able to spin the eyepiece when they wanted to the second time because they just didn't have a wall high enough for that rotation direction, which is very nice. They see the zone chunks, but that just means that they're not allowed to tank into this phase 3, and that's going to give them a very unfortunate time to zone. I don't think they have any skims available, and Coldless is going to take this to match point.
Very impressive stuff yet again. They're very similar in speed, but Coldless has such a higher APM there that just was too much pressure right at the end for QuickAndSmart, and now we have to see match point that in quite the uphill battle for QuickAndSmart there.
We are going to see the 6-3 from both players. Coldless does have a little bit of a speed advantage, at least in this opening 6-3, but Quick isn't too far behind. After all, this is phase 1, and they are receiving a lot in the column that they want to.
Yeah, Coldless with a fun little bit of a donation setup there, and a floating portion of an eye means that T-spin setups are not terrible for setup there, and that gives Coldless a whole lot of attack while QuickAndSmart is trying to get the most out of his zone right now. But that just means that Coldless will have a lot of momentum as soon as QuickAndSmart ends his zone.
Yeah, I'm just trying my absolute best to keep my composure after seeing an Iverhang forecast into an STSD from Coldless. And meanwhile, Quick did send a lot to Coldless, but Coldless sees the end of their queue in terms of the zone chunk, so this might be pretty scary if you're Quick right now, but that post pressure, that efficiency, they've got the 6-3 stack, that pacing is not threatened.
And with just the right size of garbage, Coldless is able to take it and stay alive in the bracket.
And just like that, Quick is going to be eliminated from the playoff. Unfortunately, they just thought that they could tank there, but it might have been one extra line than they envisioned, and that's going to put Coldless against Tizago in the coming weeks.